and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ali and here I just talk to myself about books and then someone, maybe you may or may not watch this at a later date. Today I have something very unusual for me, and that is a fairly large book unhaul. I know I have done many haul books before, but I'm not getting rid of some, so let's get started. So as I said, I've decided to get rid of quite a few books. To be fair, I do periodically get rid of some books. I tend to either drop them off at a charity shop or I will take them in to my work's book swap. But yes, I've realised that my shelves are getting pretty full. My book cart is on the brink of breaking. And I just have to be a little bit more selective now with what I want to keep and what I want to get rid of, as well as I did go through my TBR and I've decided to get rid of a couple of books from there as well, that realistically I just don't think I'm ever going to read now. So let's go through them. First of all, I am getting rid of The Dark Lady by Akala. There is no reason for me to get rid of this other than I just don't think I'm ever going to read it again, and also it's a little bit too middle grade for me. I think it's kind of like young adult but middle grade young adult, I don't know, kind of on the cusp of that. And whilst it's good, I just don't see myself ever reading it again, and I do have to be a little bit selective. So Akala is a rapper. He's like a hip-hop artist, British. He created this company, I don't remember the name, but he's always been very into Shakespeare, and he's done a lot of work kind of with youth, etc., improve certain conditions for youths in London especially. And he's done a lot of work kind of comparing Shakespeare with modern day rappers. And I've read his memoir Natives, which I love and I am keeping, but this I just don't see myself ever reading again. So this is the story of a boy called Henry who is an orphan, and he ends up also having these magical powers, and I think it's set in kind of 1800s London. And yeah, that's kind of all I remember about it, to be honest. It's not a bad book at all. I just don't think I will be keeping it. Next we have one I'm getting rid of, but not really getting rid of, and that is Heroes by Stephen Fry. I read this years and years and years ago. I think obviously when it came out, because I got it as soon as it was released in hardcover. I think I will be getting all three of them that he's written, but I want them in paperback just because they take up less space, and this isn't the kind of book that I need in hardcover. I do like them. So I believe you've got Heroes, Mythos, and there's another one that I don't remember the name of, but he's also just released his own version of the Odyssey, which will be interesting because I do like the Odyssey, and my favourite translation so far is the Emily Wilson one, but I am willing to give his a go as well. His is not really a translation, it's more like a fictionalized work, I believe, which is kind of what he's done in this one as well. So this kind of tells the tale of some of the most prominent heroes in Greek mythology, and it does so in kind of a fictionalized way. I do really enjoy Stephen Fry writing, and I obviously love myth retellings, so it's not a bad book, and the only reason I'm getting rid of it is to try and save a little bit of space and to replace it with 3 books instead. So Parting Ways with Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. Again, not a book that I disliked by any means, it's just I don't think I'll ever read it again, and hardcovers just take up so much space. So this tells the story of Amira, I believe, who is Amira, who is babysitting a white child and is accused of kidnapping the child instead of the more obvious assumption that she is just looking after her. And it kind of goes into a lot of discourse about white privilege and stereotypes, racism, things like that. And it's a good book. I just didn't think it was as good in terms of the writing style as I had anticipated when I got this. I think this is one I read in 2020 with a couple of friends where we were doing a virtual book club because we were all stuck in our houses, and I think I've read better books, and it's more about the writing style for me. I just didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought I would, and yeah, that's kind of the main reason. And as I said, hardcover books just kind of take up a lot of space. I'm just trying to kind of stick to only keeping hardcovers for favorites and or special editions, just to try and clear my bookshelves a little bit. Next, another chunky hardback, and that is The Crimson Crown by Heather Walter. So again, this book was okay, it was fine, but I got this at Yalk and maybe I was a little bit like too excited and just ended up getting a bunch of books. But this had just come out. This is a kind of dark retelling of the Queen from Snow White, a sapphic retelling, I think. And again, it was fine, it was good, but it wasn't like one of my favorites. And because it just takes up so much space, I just don't see the need to keep it right now. So I'm thinking I'll either put it on Vinted or put it on eBay, I don't know, or just donate it. I don't really know. But again, not a bad book by any means, and the writing style was quite interesting. I just don't see myself rereading it anytime soon or ever again, to be honest. And if I do, I'll just try and pick up like a paperback copy from somewhere. Next we have one that I think I might get judged for a little bit, but that is Glorious Exploits by Ferdia Lennon. This won the debut fiction prize for Waterstones last year, so in 2024. This is set in like 400-ish BC in Sicily. It's kind of around the time that like Athens invaded Sicily. I think, you know, it doesn't go as expected, etc. And it follows these two potters who decide to put on a show, essentially like a open air theatre show with some of the slaves or captured Athenians in the quarry. I just didn't like this that much, to be honest. I was quite disappointed by this book. I didn't really enjoy the writing style. I didn't think it was as funny as everyone thought it was, and I don't see myself ever reading this again, to be honest. And I'm quite sad because I like the cover, I like the colour, because yellow is my favourite colour, but I just can't excuse keeping it for the colour yellow, to be honest. So yes, bye bye. Next we have Holly by Stephen King. I haven't read this book, so I cannot comment at all. I do believe it's one that's kind of part of a series and follows a like detective, and I haven't read any of the others, and I wouldn't be getting them in hardback if I did. And you know, I like my books to match, especially if it's like series, so I don't see the point in keeping this. I've had this for like over a year now and I have never felt the need to pick it up. I think in terms of like Stephen King's writing, there is a lot of other books I want to read other than this, and I don't think that this like detective series in particular is something that like interests me too much. I would rather read a lot of his other standalones and kind of more horror based books. So I will be parting ways with this, although I do like the cover, but again, not an excuse to keep it. Next we have The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I really enjoyed this first book when I read it, and I actually got up to like the fourth one. I kept getting them every time they were released. I have already parted ways with 2 to 4, sorry, so 2, 3 and 4. And this one I had lent to my friend to read as well, and now she's brought it back to me, and I will just also donate this one because I don't see myself rereading it. I know it's being made into a show and I will be watching the show because I think it will be really good, especially given how like amazing the cast is. But I just feel like the story just got more and more unhinged as like the books went on. And while I really liked this one, you know, it was very quintessentially British. It was kind of your Sunday club. I know it's the Thursday club, but it was like your Sunday vibe, like murder mystery, you know, old people solve crimes type situation. But I just don't see myself reading it again, and I will not be continuing with the series. I have given up. So next we have the Illumicrate special edition of Capitana by Cassandra James. I have been meaning to get rid of this for a while, to be honest. I haven't read this, I don't intend to read it. Nothing wrong with the book itself, I just don't agree with the views of the author and a lot of their previous publications and opinions about certain things, and it's just not someone I want to support. So whilst this is actually a pretty stunning edition and you know the art and stuff is beautiful and I do feel really bad for the artists, I just will never be reading this, so it will not be staying in my house. Now the Illumicrate special edition is The Last Hour Between Worlds by Melissa Caruso. This is probably one of my favourite books in terms of like the naked hardback. It is so pretty, but I DNF'd it. I DNF'd it like halfway through, and I will just never read it because I don't care. I just don't care about the characters. I don't care about the story. It was Groundhog Day in like the worst way, and yeah, the characters just weren't charismatic enough. I was really sad about it, especially because look at this art, please. It's just stunning. But I can't excuse keeping it just because it's pretty. I will never finish this book. I will never want to pick it up again, so it has to go. Essentially, this is the story of a woman that I do not remember the name of, Kembrel Thorne, who is a new mother. So she has a baby and she kind of leaves her baby for the first time to go to like this work gathering. And at this work gathering, so in this world you've got kind of like different layers, and each layer is like an echo of the previous layer, so it's kind of similar but not. You get more monsters of feathers, you go down like weirder things happen. And during this kind of ball, I guess it is, there's like guests start dropping dead essentially, and these monsters from echoes are like breaking through, and each time they die they end up in a new echo, so a layer down, and it was just boring. It was just boring. I'm really sorry. I just didn't like this, and I'm sorry if you liked it, but again, it's one that I'll be putting on Vinted, so if you're interested, do check it out, but it wasn't for me. And next we have the first ever Illumicrate book I got, and that is The Sun and the Void by Gabriela Romero Lacruz. And again, not a book that I disliked by any means. I just don't remember anything that really happened. I don't think I'll be continuing on with the series. The sequel actually came out recently in Illumicrate format, and I was like, yeah, it's not worth it for me. It's also like, given some of the newer special editions that Illumicrate has done, this one's pretty like basic, and whilst it is pretty, again, I don't think that's a reason to keep a book. It's quite chunky, it's saving me a lot of shelf space, and again, I will just be giving this up. That was all the hardbacks, which has saved me quite a lot of shelf space in like my hardback bookshelf slash special edition bookshelf, so I'm very happy with that. And now we can move on to some of the paperbacks. So first of all, I will be getting rid of the Atlas 6 and the Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. I read the Atlas 6, I don't know, like 2-3 years ago now. I don't even know, when did this come out? I don't know, but I read it like at least 2 years ago. I don't remember anything that really happened in it. All I remember is there was like 7 or 8 people. They were in some sort of academy. They all had different like skills and powers, etc. And then there's this all like mystery going on. So there's 6 extraordinary magicians and 5 chances to win, which means one of them has to like die essentially. And I do remember there being quite a big cliffhanger, and I did want to know more about it, and then I just waited too long to pick up this one, and now I just don't think I'm ever going to finish it. Like, there's other series that I want to read more than this one, and it's just not interested in me anymore, which is quite sad because I also like that it's got illustrations in it and the art's really cool, but again, it's not really a reason for me to keep it. I haven't read this one, and there's another one as well, so it's a trilogy, and I just will not be reading them. I will be getting rid of these 2 as well. Next we have one that like BookTube and BookTok might like literally revolt over, but that is the Zodiac Academy by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. I didn't like this at all. I thought there was like no world building, 0 like character development. I hated all the like male interests. They were all awful, and the 2 lead female characters were just like annoying. So I will not be continuing with this very long series. I'm really glad I didn't do that thing that I usually do, which is like buy a bunch of books in a series before I've actually read them, and I only bought this one, and they are quite expensive as well, so I'm really glad I didn't spend too much money on these. But yeah, this is definitely not a series I'm interested to continue with, and yeah, please don't hate me for it, but this is going bye-bye as well. Next we have The Passenger by Ulrich Alexander Boschwitz. I have had this again for a couple of years, have never read it, don't think I will ever read it. This is like set in Berlin during the build up to World War II, I think, or like during World War II, and kind of follows the persecution of the Jewish people in Berlin. And yeah, I mean, I'll read the blurb in case you're interested. It's apparently meant to be a very good book. I just don't see myself reading it anytime soon or ever. So Berlin, November 1938. Synagogues are being burnt to the ground, Jews rounded up, and the businesses destroyed. Otto Silbermann has managed to evade the escalating violence of the Nazi regime until now. With stormtroopers battering on his door, he flees his apartment and begins a desperate race to escape his homeland that is no longer home. And I'm not saying this is a bad book, again, by any means, or like a topic that shouldn't be explored. I have just read quite a bunch of books set at this time covering this topic recently, and this is just so far off my radar. It's unreal, and it's been sat on my book cart, taking up space for far too long. I just don't see myself picking this up ever, so I think it's a good call to get rid of it. Another one that I haven't read for, I don't know, the years that I've had it is The Gap in Time, or The Gap of Time by Jeanette Winterson. This is meant to be based on one of Shakespeare's books, on Winter's Tale by Shakespeare. I think I've said this before, I've never been like the biggest fan of Shakespeare. I think the only 2 or 3 I've really enjoyed are like Much Ado About Nothing, The Tempest and Macbeth. And, you know, I've recently read Lady Macbeth, I've reread Macbeth itself, but I've had this sat there for a long time. I have so many books to read, and this is just not one I'm ever tempted to pick up or read, so it will be going as well because it's taken up space and I need to part ways with some of the books I have. Next we have the first book in the Witcher series, which is The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. Anyway, this I got from the workbook swap. I got it because, one, I love The Witcher with Henry Cavill in it, and I have been wanting to read the series for a long time. However, as I've said, I've got so many series either on the go at the moment or lined up to be read that I'm trying to get through, and I just don't think that adding this right now is going to help me. Also, I've decided that if I do want to read this and read the series, I want to get the ones that aren't like the TV tie-in covers, because I just don't like those. I like to have like book covers that are book covers, not just have like pictures of like famous people on them or people who've played them. But yes, and also this has got a stupid sticker on it that doesn't get removed. But anyway, so I will maybe pick up this in the future, but again, it's such a long series that I just want to try and prioritize some of the series I already have on my shelves, and yeah, this isn't one of them right now. Next, we have The Vinyl Detective, written in Dead Wax by Andrew Cartmel. This was one of the book club picks. I just didn't enjoy it. Sorry, this is the Waterstones book club picks. I thought it was okay, I just didn't really enjoy it that much. I will not be rereading this again, so I just don't think there's any point in keeping it. And again, it's part of like a very large series that I will never pick up, so it has to go. Next, I have The Hobbit. Do not get fooled, it's not them getting rid of this. I actually have another copy here in the book set of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, so this is a duplicate copy that I have, and I just don't need 2 copies of it. Also, this one's like really old. I think this is my partner's from like when he was a kid, and it's just fallen apart, so I'm a bit scared of it, but I might just try and take it back to his parents' house and leave it there, or just donate it. I don't really know, but the pages have fallen out and I'm a bit scared, and yeah, there's no point in having 2 of the same book, right? And it's not even like a different version, it's literally the exact same book edition, so don't need 2 of them. Next, I have Girl with a Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier. I picked this up because I thought it was like a classic. Turns out it's not a classic, and then I started reading it and I didn't like it, so I DNF'd it pretty quick, and yeah, don't see myself picking this up at any point ever again, so I don't think there's any point in keeping it. But yeah, this is a historical fiction about the girl behind the painting of A Girl with a Pearl Earring, which I think is meant to be pretty good. Like, I've heard good things about this book, but I didn't enjoy it and I will not be continuing it. I've definitely changed ways recently where like I have stopped hate reading books or like forcing myself to read books I'm not enjoying, because I just have so many to read and I know there's like loads out there that I will probably love, and I don't want to waste time reading books that just aren't giving me that joy. So I have started being a lot better with DNFing books and a lot more cutthroat when it comes to getting rid of them. So bye bye. And another one that I just did not enjoy, I have tried to read multiple times, is American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. I know this is a classic. I know. I watched the movie and I love the movie. I just can't get into this. Like, the writing of this is just not for me. I have tried like 3 times to pick this up, and every time I've DNF'd it a few chapters in. I just will never read this. It's not in the writing style that like engages me in any way. I know the story anyway. If I really want to watch it, I'll watch the movie again. I'm sure they'll remake some stuff. I think there's like Bates Motel as well based on this as well. So I just don't see the point in keeping this. It's been sat on my shelves for literally since like 2020, so like 5 years, and I've just never managed to read it, and I never will. Next is another duplicate, and that is The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. This I'm actually going to be gifting to my friend because she's wanted to start this series, and the trilogy is next on my list to pick up after the ones that I'm currently reading. And yeah, I just didn't know. I had 2 copies of this, to be honest. I went to see an event with Sue Lin Tan where Elodie Harper was chairing recently. I bought the entire trilogy there, got her to sign it. And I must have bought this like months before and just never realised, because I just totally forgot I had this. I just found it the other day when I was looking through my book cart, and I was like, hold on a second, I have 2 copies of this. So I will be gifting this one to my friend. It is definitely a series I really want to read, and I'm very much looking forward to. I've heard very, very good things, both from people online and from friends who've read it as well. So I am looking forward to that. Last but not least, I did a bad thing. I saw that Illuma Crate was doing, for their 10th anniversary edition, a special edition version of the Farseer trilogy, and I was convinced to buy it. I say convinced. It didn't really take a lot of convincing. My friends were talking about it. One of my friends had already got it, and I was like, okay, I will get it. And actually there was 4 of us on the call, and like 2 of us ended up buying it literally on the call, because I'd been thinking about it for a while, and it's really stunning special editions. So I will be getting rid of The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, and that's purely because I've got the special edition trilogy coming, so there's no point in having this paperback version of the first book as well. I haven't read it yet. I do really want to read it. It's definitely one of those like series that I'm a little bit scared of, because it just opens up a massive world, a bit like Brandon Sanderson's, of like loads of interconnected trilogies or duologies, and I am just terrified. But I've heard such good things. I know I'm going to love this, so I was like, do you know what, treat yourself. It's been a terrible year, just, you know, enjoy it. So like, yeah, I've got that coming. The only reason I'm getting rid of this is purely because it's been replaced by a far, far prettier version, although I do really like these paperbacks as well. So yeah, that's the only reason. Okay, so thank you very much. That was my book Unhaul, which is like a bunch of books, to be fair. So I have, as I said, opened up quite a lot of space on my bookshelves. My book cart is looking slightly less like it's about to give up on life. Although, having said that, I do have a bunch of books on the way that I've either pre-ordered, or, you know, just my monthly subscription boxes that will be coming soon. Therefore, I don't know how much good this really did, but it could be worse. You know what, it could be worse. But yes, let me know if you've read any of those and you think I should keep them, although I don't think I'm going to be changing my mind at this point. But yes, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please pop a like. If you want to see more, do subscribe, and I will see you soon.